Creating the life you want does not begin with changing what is around you. It begins with changing how you relate to what is already there. Most people believe life moves first, and they respond second. They believe circumstances decide how they feel, how confident they're allowed to be, and what choices are available. That belief quietly hands authority to the outside world. The moment authority is external, life feels unpredictable, and personal power feels conditional. The experiences that repeat in your life are not random. They follow patterns, and those patterns are shaped by perception. Perception influences interpretation. Interpretation influences reaction. Reaction influences behavior. Behavior influences outcome. By the time you notice the outcome, the process has already completed itself many times over. This is why real change feels slow at first. You are interrupting a loop that has been running automatically. Effort alone does not build the life you want. Effort without alignment often builds exhaustion. People work harder while carrying the same assumptions, the same expectations, and the same emotional posture. When nothing changes, they conclude that something is wrong with them. In reality, effort amplifies whatever identity it is attached to. If effort is attached to struggle, it produces more struggle. If it is attached to clarity, it produces momentum. The foundation of any life is identity. Identity is not personality or mood. It is the quiet answer to the question of what kind of person you believe yourself to be. That answer influences what you attempt, what you avoid, what you tolerate, and what you dismiss. Life consistently matches that internal answer. It does not argue with it. It reflects it. Most identities are inherited rather than chosen. They form through repetition, observation, and emotional memory. A child does not analyze beliefs. A child adapts. Those adaptations become habits. Habits become self-image. Self-image becomes destiny unless it is questioned. The important thing to recognize is that these identities were formed in response to the past. They are not required to govern the future. What feels normal to you has enormous influence. Normal income, normal stress, normal conflict, normal expectations. Normal defines the range of what you consider realistic. When something exceeds that range, discomfort appears. That discomfort is often misinterpreted as a sign to stop. In truth, it is a sign that the internal reference point is being challenged. The nervous system reinforces this reference point. It seeks familiarity, not improvement. If tension was familiar, ease may feel unfamiliar. If unpredictability was familiar, stability may feel suspicious. This creates a strange situation where positive change feels unsettling and negative patterns feel safe. Understanding this removes self-judgment from the process. Resistance is not failure, it is conditioning. Because of this, lasting change is not created through dramatic breakthroughs. It is created through steady exposure to new inner states. Calm moments matter. Moments of clarity matter. Moments of self-trust matter. These moments train the system to accept a broader range of experience. Over time, what once felt unfamiliar begins to feel ordinary. Life is shaped more by defaults than decisions. Defaults are how you respond when you are tired, distracted, or emotionally charged. Defaults appear in how you interpret silence, how you handle delays, and how you speak to yourself when something does not go as planned. These moments quietly reinforce the direction your life moves in. Waiting is one of the clearest indicators of inner state. Waiting can feel heavy or spacious. It can feel like pressure or like neutrality. When waiting feels heavy, expectation is tied to lack. When waiting feels neutral, expectation has loosened. Movement accelerates when inner pressure releases. Pressure narrows perception. Space expands it. Urgency often masquerades as motivation, but urgency creates reactive choices. Reactive choices repeat old outcomes. Calm allows discernment. Discernment leads to better timing and cleaner action. Progress does not require rushing. It requires alignment between internal state and external movement. Trust is often misunderstood as blind belief. In practice, trust is the willingness to hold a new assumption without immediate proof. Evidence follows orientation. Orientation does not follow evidence. This is not denial of reality. It is recognition of sequence. Inner cause precedes outer effect. Constant monitoring disrupts this process. When attention is fixated on results, identity slips back into waiting. Waiting reinforces separation. Separation reinforces lack. Allowing things to unfold does not mean passivity. It means reducing interference. Self-agreement is more powerful than external validation. When inner approval is absent, no amount of external success feels stable. When inner approval is present, stability appears even before results. This stability becomes the foundation for sustainable progress. Regulating the inner world is not selfish. It is practical. When inner tension is unmanaged, it spills outward into decisions, communication, and relationships. When inner clarity is maintained, interactions become cleaner and outcomes improve naturally. The stories you repeat matter. Stories are not just narratives about the past. They are frameworks for expectation. If the story is built around limitation, the future is filtered through that lens. Changing a story does not require denying facts. It requires removing conclusions that no longer serve. Rehearsal plays a key role. The mind treats repeated inner dialogue as preparation. Conversations imagined in advance shape real interactions. Anticipated conflict invites tension. Anticipated support invites openness. Awareness of rehearsal allows for intentional change. Revision is another practical tool. Revisiting an experience and changing its emotional meaning alters expectation. Expectation influences repetition. When emotional charge is removed, patterns lose momentum. Environment also plays a role. Constant stimulation, clutter, and unresolved conflict keep the system alert. Alert systems resist change. Even small changes toward order and calm support adaptability. Adaptability supports growth. Beginnings and endings of days influence mental state disproportionately. Starting the day in reactivity sets a tone. Ending the day in rumination reinforces patterns. Simple intentionality at these points compounds over time. Receiving is often more challenging than striving. Striving maintains identity. Receiving challenges it. Allowing support, appreciation, and ease expands what feels acceptable. Blocking receiving reinforces scarcity regardless of effort. Expectations about permanence also matter. When good experiences are met with anticipation of loss, tension undermines enjoyment and stability. Allowing positive states to feel ordinary stabilizes them. Identity is reinforced through action. Small follow-through builds trust with oneself. Trust expands capacity. Capacity allows larger outcomes to be held without collapse. This process is not about perfection. Emotional fluctuation is normal. What matters is where you return. Return points shape trajectory. Discomfort does not indicate danger. It often indicates unfamiliarity. Learning to distinguish between the two removes unnecessary retreat. Negative emotion does not negate progress. It only does so when it becomes identity. Allowing emotion to pass without attaching meaning preserves direction. Receiving help changes identity. Accepting support revises the story of self-reliance built on struggle. New stories invite new experiences. Financial patterns follow the same principles. Pressure decisions reinforce pressure. Stability decisions reinforce stability. Identity guides financial behavior more than information does. Relationships follow expectation. Anticipated conflict creates guarded behavior. Anticipated respect invites clarity. Inner assumptions shape outer dynamics. Time pressure distorts perception. Detaching emotional safety from timelines reduces self-sabotage. Calm timing allows opportunities to be recognized. Opportunity rarely arrives labeled clearly. It often appears ordinary. Openness allows recognition. Rigidity blocks it. Persistence is not repetition of technique. It is consistency of identity. Daily choices cast votes for who you are becoming. Off days do not undo progress. Overall direction matters more than momentary deviation. Small promises kept build self-credibility. Self-credibility allows belief to stabilize. Belief stabilizes when evidence is generated internally first. Safety supports flexibility. Flexibility supports new outcomes. Care for the present trains respect for the future. Physical habits support mental shifts. Rest, order, and movement regulate perception. Confidence grows through experience, not affirmation alone. Boundaries clarify identity. Clarity simplifies choices. Growth challenges old roles. Roles dissolve through consistent non-participation. Normalizing success prevents self-sabotage. Change becomes effortless when identity shifts fully. The process is gradual but reliable. The life you want is built through internal consistency more than external intensity. When alignment becomes habitual, effort feels lighter. Momentum builds quietly. Eventually, the outer world reflects the inner structure with precision, not because of effort, but because of coherence. And coherence, once established, carries forward on its own.